World War II unleashed destruction on a scale humanity had never seen, driving desperate nations to bizarre, extreme experiments. Some ideas were hidden in secret bunkers, while others reached battlefields, revealing the darkest corners of human imagination. Among the strangest was an American plan, conceived by a dentist, to unleash fire-carrying bats against Japan. A B-24 bomber opened its bays, not dropping bombs, but releasing thousands of bats into the moonlit sky. These bats roost inside wooden test villages, each carrying incendiaries, igniting devastating fires that consumed entire towns. Yet the sudden arrival of atomic bombs overshadowed this strange idea, and the Bat Project was quietly cancelled. Even stranger, psychologist B.F. Skinner trained pigeons to guide missiles with eerie precision during wartime experiments. Inside small glass capsules, pigeons pecked glowing targets, shifting controls, steering simulated missiles directly toward enemy warships. In tests, pigeon-guided missiles dived relentlessly toward ships, astonishing scientists with their surprising accuracy and unwavering focus. Despite remarkable results, the military dismissed the project as absurd, leaving the pigeon missile forever trapped in laboratories. In 1945, Soviet troops stumbled upon a strange sight, an abandoned spherical German tank buried deep within the mud. Two soldiers circled the Kugelpanzer, tapping its metal shell curiously, puzzled by a machine whose purpose remained hidden. To this day, the Kugelpanzer endures as an unsolved enigma of Nazi engineering, with no clear battlefield role. Meanwhile in Britain, engineers tested the Panjandrum, a colossal rocket-powered wheel crammed with explosives for beach assaults. On test beaches, the massive wheel wobbled violently, veering uncontrollably as rockets misfired, plunging trials into chaos. Officers watching the spectacle scattered in panic, realizing this terrifying weapon frightened its own men more than enemies. After repeated disasters, the Panjandrum was abandoned, remembered forever as one of history's strangest and most failed weapons. The Germans meanwhile dreamed even bigger, constructing the Gustav gun, the largest artillery piece ever deployed during wartime. When fired, its monstrous shells weighed 7 tons, tearing helmets from soldiers and shaking the trembling ground violently. But Gustav proved clumsy, slow, and impractical, an engineering marvel that offered little true value on real battlefields. The British imagined Project Habakkuk, an enormous aircraft carrier built entirely from ice, designed to float across the North Atlantic. Engineers tested blocks of pykrete, a mixture of ice and wood pulp, stronger than ice but still dangerously fragile. In field trials, the frozen blocks melted quickly, cracking apart, proving too unstable to withstand the demands of war. The ambitious project was eventually abandoned, never reaching deployment, remembered only as one of history's strangest wartime experiments. Meanwhile, Japan relied heavily on deadly bombers carrying torpedoes, sweeping low across the waves in daring precision attacks. 3 Betty aircraft soared above the sea, releasing silver torpedoes that streaked forward, arrowing directly toward American battleships. Underwater torpedoes raced through the blue depths, bubbles streaming, before slamming violently into the steel hull of a ship. The explosion sent water and smoke surging skyward, tearing through metal, crippling once mighty vessels with terrifying destructive power. In desperation, Japan built Kaiden, human-piloted torpedoes launched from submarines, sending men on certain death-suicide missions. Through tiny windows, pilots steered relentlessly toward distant fleets, some striking with deadly force, others destroyed before reaching Targe. Japan unveiled the Oka rocket plane, a small manned bomb slung beneath larger bombers, released into deadly dives. Once dropped, the Oka's rockets ignited, propelling it downward at terrifying speed toward heavily defended American naval targets. Inside cramped cockpits, young pilots gripped the controls tightly, determined to sacrifice everything against approaching American fleets. Anti-aircraft guns thundered furiously, filling skies with fire. Many Okas exploded midair before reaching their intended targets. Yet some slipped through the defenses, striking warships with devastating explosions that shattered steel and sent flames skyward. Japan also launched hydrogen balloon bombs, silent floating weapons designed to cross the Pacific and strike America unexpectedly. These fragile balloons drifted into violent storms, lightning flashing overhead, carried helplessly by unpredictable winds across the ocean. Some survived the journey, drifting over American forests and farmland, their deadly bombs swaying ominously beneath fragile frames. One balloon bomb exploded in a town, killing 6 civilians, the only wartime deaths recorded on American soil. Meanwhile, Germany deployed Nebelwerfers, multi-barrel rocket launchers whose screaming salvos filled the skies with smoke and terror. Engineer Barnes Wallis designed the Tallboy, an earthquake bomb unlike anything the world had ever witnessed before in warfare. Released from towering Lancaster bombers, Tallboys plummeted earthward at terrifying speed, aimed at hardened German fortresses and bunkers. Each massive bomb burrowed deep into the ground before detonating, unleashing catastrophic explosions beneath the surface. Shock waves ripped through earth, fortresses and concrete bunkers shaking violently, tearing themselves apart from unimaginable force. Tallboys devastated V-2 rocket sites, crippling Hitler's terror weapons and decisively shifting the balance in the Allies' favor. Wallis then engineered the Grand Slam, the largest conventional bomb ever built, dwarfing the men assembling it. Dropped from high above, the Grand Slam pierced Earth with unstoppable momentum before detonating deep underground. One devastating strike demolished massive viaducts, sending entire bridges collapsing into clouds of dust and smoke. At the same time, British intelligence staged Operation Mincemeat, one of history's most daring deception ruses. They dressed a corpse as a Royal Navy officer, planting forged documents in his pocket to mislead the enemy. The body washed ashore in Spain, where locals discovered it and passed papers to German intelligence. Convinced, German commanders shifted troops to Greece, leaving Sicily dangerously undermanned. Allied forces stormed Sicily, meeting weaker resistance thanks to deception, another strange plan that worked. The Allies also created ghost armies, deploying inflatable tanks and vehicles across empty fields. From the ground they looked crude, but from above they resembled massive armored divisions. German reconnaissance planes reported thousands of tanks, never realizing they were staring at rubber shells. Hitler kept divisions guarding Calais, convinced the Allies would land there instead of Normandy. When D-Day began, Normandy's defenses stood thin, the deception had played its part perfectly. From bats to balloons, from rocket guns to phantom armies, strange inventions reshaped World War II. Some were genius, some absurd, yet all proved imagination has no limits in the chaos of war. History still hides countless forgotten weapons. Which secrets should we uncover next? Share your thoughts, and subscribe for more.